Hello and welcome to GoldBoys Primetime. I am Eli here with Brian versus the Books, Paranormal Base, the Ghost Fish, Parlay J, Jerry, whatever you want to call this man. He's here. Hit an insane. Honestly, one of the craziest home run lottos. There's been some crazy ones, but like as far as home runs that people would think are unlikely, I would say. Just destroyed the books today. I guess Brian. Brian's name is Brian versus Books. It was really Jerry today. But took. Go ahead. What were the odds and who were the two guys?
Wait, why does Brian look pink?
Well,
I was out in the sun all day. Maybe that's it.
Jesus Christ, man.
Dude, trust me. In 2 weeks, or I guess when the UV gets better, I get really tan. It's funny. I get really tan in the summers. There's just no sun right now. So
You're like Patrick Star pink right now. Holy
thanks,
shit.
man. I appreciate it.
What were the odds on that thing? It was
plus
like
3,000 something, right?
So I actually lost some money by it not happening yesterday because yesterday I had $100 on it. And it was better odds. But you know what? I'll take it. I will definitely take it. So it was plus 3,000, 3,137. How do you say that? Like, oh, I have a plus 3,130.
31 to 1 is how Will Hill would say it, and that's the best one. I'm trying to reframe and talk like that because that like actually makes sense. But go ahead.
I think this is all like new, right? When we had like these sports books now, all these new sports books, they have these odds like this. Back in the day, it was always this is 10 to 1, this is 12 to 1. Yeah, but Javi hit his second at bat, hit an absolute monster shot off of Lucchese, and I told you, Brian, his elbow's gonna fall off mid-game, and what happened? His elbow fell.
I'll be honest. So me and Ryan Props both bet on his strikeouts, and it's so funny because I watched him against the Giants, and he looked decent, and he was, getting whiffs. I watched him today, and I was like, does he think this curve pitch he has, or whatever he calls it? He's throwing like 88 down the gut, and I was like, dude, if you're gonna go off speed, you cannot just be throwing batting practice, and that's all he did.
You want to bet?
You just can't, like, especially guys that they can't hit good fastballs, and he just doesn't have it. He's gonna have games like this. He's gonna have some good games where everything's working. There's gonna be some games that absolutely stink. That's what guys, when they don't have that backup pitch, that overpowering fastball they can go to. Once they lose their breaking pitch and they don't have a feel for it, they have no backup. They just can't do anything. So
I do say I will appreciate it because recently, even my winning days, like if I'm up, it's funny because the losses, like if you go 2-1, but you lose in extra innings off a stupid play, it almost feels like you didn't go 2-1. It almost feels like you went like 0 for 40. So I do appreciate the fact that he got like I checked out of that game first inning. Like I'd rather that. Like Logan Webb today, he went 1K under, but he went 8 innings and he was like there the whole time. And it's like I'd much rather just get it over with and just say, you know what, thanks for coming out. Let me go. Just do anything else
Instead of getting hooked by a strikeout liner. But anyway, so congratulations to Jerry. That was Lindor and the other guy, Javi Baez, both to hit a home run, which is just crazy. I thought, I kind of led you towards Lindor. I know you're the Mets guy, so you're the Mets expert. You liked him anyway. But I did call out the other day. I feel like Lindor's about to go off on a home run streak. Maybe this is the first one of many. Obviously, I bet him Monday. Did not happen. So I'll probably bet him tomorrow again, and he won't. And then it'll be Friday for the next Lindor ding. That's how it's been going for me recently.
I actually bet it. It was kind of a little bit of a narrative. Lindor was like, I had no real insight to add to that. It was just that he's Javi Baez's best friend in the whole wide world. And they had a nice little divorce, 2 seasons ago. And it was just like, these are the two guys that was controversy around them. It was just a fun little bet, and it ended up hitting.
Yeah, so this is a good segue. On me and Ryan's show, we always talk about crazy non-sequitur segues. This is actually a good segue because you mentioned 2 things. Jerry mentioned you need to have a overpowering fastball if you don't have other stuff. And you mentioned how, sometimes how he's the Mets guy. So here's my question: if you were betting pitcher props in the early slate, you got destroyed. I think there was 9 pitchers so far, 1 still going. I'm tracking it. Out of the 10 pitchers today, I think only 1 has gone over the strikeout line, which is Valdez, that they made unplayable. So it's been pretty rough. But I feel like sometimes you can't be determined by that. And I have a question for you, Jerry, as the Mets guy. Give me one reason why Max Scherzer 6 strikeouts and a Mets win at plus money even odds, even money, plus 100 is a bad look because I think it is a great look. You get Max, you get Max coming in, probably going to throw 140 miles an hour after this whole suspension bullshit. He gets a Tigers lineup that is 25.5% strikeout rate against lefties. I mean, against righties, 30% against lefties. Didn't matter today with that 88-mile-an-hour curve, but now you get Mad Max to get at them, and Badoo's in the lineup. I mean, it's just a weird line. Like they try to go lefties versus Max, but here's the thing about going lefties versus Max. Yes, he doesn't strike out lefties as much, but when you don't have decent lefties to actually put up a fight, he should destroy them. Am I wrong?
So I think that Max Scherzer is going to have a 10 strikeout day today, just because. So you pitch every 5 days. It's hard to adjust. Start to start. He had a nice little break. He was struggling to start the year.
Yes.
He was getting his ass kicked, and now
But the strikeouts were there all but one game. I mean, like, not really, but like, I'm asking for 6. For Max, you never get a 6 or 7. Like, it's usually 7.5.
I think he's definitely gonna get 6. But first of all, we have a lot of things in factor here. We have a little narrative, of course. He played in Detroit for many years. We have angry Max. And if you've seen this guy pissed off, you don't want to face him.
I know we talk about narratives and I talk a lot about numbers, but Mad Max is one of those guys where I do factor in emotion into his pitching so much because him and also Garrett Cole, there are some guys that, like, if they don't get a call from the ump and they get into an argument and you see them leave the dugout, you almost want to bet them to strike out the side if you're able to, because they just get – same with Kevin Gausman. He's another guy that they get really emotional and they'll just hurl like 104 miles an hour, which is not even possible for them, but they'll somehow find it and just like wail on them. So I actually
think you're right. I actually tend to think not this year. He's been lights out this year, but I think it's the opposite. Was the opposite up until this year for Garrett Cole. I would have obviously I watched a lot of Yankees games, and some doesn't go his way, or there's a delay he doesn't like, or something like that. Anything got in his head up until this year. Yeah, he just completely lost it. Yeah, would give up a ton of home runs. But yeah, that's a good look. I do think. Max,
I mean, it's him versus Lorenzen, and Lorenzen. I mean,
yeah, and also I don't have numbers on this in front of me. I can maybe look them up later on, tweet them out or something. But the backside of a doubleheader, I feel like is always lower.
Goes 2-0.
Yeah, well, that and it's also it seems like it's always less offensive, right? And that if that's the case here, I think you have to lean. You have to lean Mets. Obviously, the pitching matchup isn't close, right? The offenses really aren't close. So I like what you're saying about they do rarely sweep. One team rarely sweeps. So
I will say this sounds stupid, but if the Mets didn't lose, I might have considered the over 6.5 a little bit more than 6 and a win. But after a loss in the doubleheader against the Tigers, and the Tigers, I just think getting plus 100 or even money, whatever you want to call it, is just.
I saw that tweet today too.
Yeah, which is so dumb.
Lame.
It's so dumb that became like a whole controversy just because people are stupid as hell. But yeah, I think even money is just such a good look for Max versus Lorenzen in a Mets Tigers matchup.
Yeah, I think I would lean. I like that as well.
I think the books are cowards. They're not giving Max any outs line, because there's no outs listed. I mean, they went to the bullpen today in a doubleheader after another doubleheader. Man, I would probably lay serious juice if they gave me an outs line, no matter what they would lay for, like, say 17.5.
Taking the over. Yeah. By the way, shout out my boy Mike, who is books are cowards on Twitter. I thought you were calling him out. I know you were just saying books are actually cowards. What's up to the people in the chat? I saw random 7-day off ban said Dinger Tuesday was rough. Yeah, I was looking at numbers a little bit earlier actually, and coming off a big weekend of 41 homers on the 29th, 36 on the 30th, down to 27 home runs yesterday on Dinger Tuesday. I did do a little bit deeper of a dive, and Tuesdays aren't necessarily a bad day for home runs in general. We just kind of. I think we got the short end of the stick a little bit yesterday. It was definitely an off day for dingers on a day where that's where majority of the action was. So that's kind of sucks. I guess we're on that. There are a couple games live right now. I don't know. Live pitching unders could be interesting. I don't know if I don't have any of the odds in front of me. I could pull up the the Pickett Sports app, use code GoldBoys or FaceOff40 for Brian, and check those odds. Super easy, but I haven't done that yet. Anything? You guys have any action or anything you're looking at in the two games that are going on right now? We just want to move on. We're talking about one of the 640 games already. We can go into that one.
Like live action?
No, I have nothing in the live games.
Okay. Anything else on the Mets Tigers since we were talking about that one? I personally
no, but
don't
I will
have
say
anything.
I'm gonna do as we're talking the rest of the show. I'm gonna do a write up, but I think that conversation was beneficial between me and you two because I did just take the PPD.
Yeah.
I think over 6.5 is also really tempting, but for some reason I'm drawn to the fact that the Mets offense looked great last game, and I don't think they're gonna lose again. So I want to go the 6 and a win and regret it when Max gets 9 strikeouts and they lose 1-0.
I was looking at Pete Alonso home run for the first game. I honestly forgot to take it. No, he did hit a home run. Right? I'm glad, but that's something that might be interesting against a pitcher who's not very good. But like I said, I'm always just hesitant to bet offense in the second game of a back-to-back. He's gonna have 18 innings of baseball today. It's not the most physically challenging sport, but that's still hard. You're out in the sun all day and shit. Go ahead.
I bet on a guy who didn't play the first game and is well rested right now, coming into the lineup.
Max Scherzer.
A guy with a massive, thick, huge bat. He is hitting ninth, but he's being so disrespected, and that's Francisco Alvarez. I mean, the kid, he's coming into his own. He's starting to hit well. He has so much power. You have no idea how much power this kid has, and he's plus 900 to hit a home run against Lorenzen. Are you kidding me? Lorenzen is getting rocked by right-hand batters.
So should I cash out this PPD and take the home run with the 6 strikeouts parlay? Is that a better?
I took Max Scherzer 10 strikeouts and Alvarez to hit a home run at plus 8,989 to 1. We'll say that.
At just last couple days, I clicked on the wrong person. I clicked on Yordan Alvarez and not who you were talking about, so never mind. But yeah, I agree. I was looking at him earlier. He has been hitting the ball hard. I think he's going to go on a run here too. I don't know how many home runs he's hit so far this season, but I like that play. Again, I'm just the only thing that's holding me back from taking him or Pete. But like we said, he didn't play his first game. I guess is the whole second game of a back-to-back thing. But that could be the way to do it. Actually, that I think that's a good look.
Guys who didn't have to play through, they're just sitting down, hanging out, and then now they jump into the action. He's a young guy. He's 22 years old, something like that, 21. Yeah, but this kid has just too much raw power to be at plus 900. We're talking about plus 900. It's for the scrawny guys, the guys that hit like 1 or 2 home runs, every 3 months. This is going to be a guy that's going to hit 30 home runs at some point.
Yeah.
It's so funny because as you guys are more well-versed, more Jerry, in terms of like lotto betting and like parlay betting. So I mentioned like tough breaks in baseball. On Sunday, I had a player performance double, right, with Kevin Gausman 6 and a win for the Blue Jays, and they were up 4-0. And I checked the live odds because I was bored in the 6th inning. The Blue Jays are minus like 6,000 to win, and it was like plus 2,000. So like 20 to 1 for the Mariners to win. And my first thought was, wow, if you think about the lottos that we put out on these shows sometimes, like 81, like 89 to whatever. My first thought was, holy shit, they would have to come back 8-4 in 3 innings to win. That seems impossible. And then later on, I was like, well, fuck, they did that. But like, you know what I mean? Like that's what those odds are so crazy when you think about it. Like to hit like a parlay like Jerry hit today, you're telling me that you hit something more impressive than a team needing to score 4 more runs plus extras in 3 innings. Like it's something crazy like that where I think the best way to look at those odds you put in for parlays is to think about like live betting where it's like, oh, the Sixers are down 18 with 3 minutes left. They're not going to win, and it's like stuff like that where you think about when it's one event, it makes you think about, wow, these events are the equivalent of this one improbable event.
I agree, but at the same time, parlays are just so much fun, and also that's what the people like. That's honestly.
No, I'm giving Jerry credit here. For once, I'm giving Jerry credit.
Jerry does
it's
suck,
crazy.
but that is I just tweeted multiple times today that you're a psychopath, you're crazy, it's insane. I got to catch up on chat here. Ginger Snap in chat's asking how we're doing. We're doing great, man. Always that guy's always in here, keeping the chat active. So I appreciate you. Joseph says Jerry's in moose piss after forgetting to hit the round robin button. I think Jerry's in a pretty good mood.
Matt
I don't
Carpenter
know.
hit a home run.
I don't know.
He hit 2.
Shut up, Brian.
What?
It's thinking about you shouldn't, but yeah. So that was Twitch chat. Let me catch up on YouTube here. What are we thinking about the slugfest and elevation tonight at Coors Field? We will get to that game. What I will say is Contreras. I forget. I always mix them up. Which one's which? But the Contreras for the Brewers. I've been looking at him.
Carpenter hit the home run? I was going to check. He didn't.
No, thank God he didn't.
Thank God he
All
did.
right, I'm happy for you.
I didn't play it. But I'm thinking about that one.
I'm about to say I was watching that game a little bit. I did not see that.
And also asking about Buxton home run tonight. Spoiler, I am on buying Buxton tonight. We'll get to that. Looks like Brandon sent you a slip, Jerry. He had Lindor, Bregman, and Buxton on a parlay. So some places will let you take home run unders. I don't know if it's Buxton's odds were pretty good, like pretty bad. He's like plus 350 or something was I got on this morning, 375. So that might be worth a hedge depending on how much money you have on it. If I think like what DraftKings or you can take really juiced home run unders. But that's gonna be a hell of a ticket when Byron Buxton hits home run tonight. I do like him tonight.
Can I interject for 1 second?
Yeah.
Because I was looking for this earlier, and this is back to my thing earlier. I just couldn't find the website, but I found it. Last season there was 68 doubleheaders, and the home team has swept them in only 18 times. It's 26%. So that's what we're looking at here for home sweeps in terms of the Tigers tonight for the Mets.
Yeah, I like it. I'm in. Okay, let's move along a little bit here. A couple other 640 slate games: Braves, Marlins, Pirates, Rays. Anything on those two? I'll say I was watching the Pirates Rays game last night. Two best teams in baseball. Nobody thought we'd be saying that. If you're bored, need something to watch, that should be a good one. That should be a fun series. But you got anything on those two games?
Do you think Braxton Garrett's legit?
I have no idea.
Nick Larson really likes Braxton Garrett. I don't know what it is.
I mean, this is his first season. He's pitching this well. He was essentially a 3-pitch pitcher. Now he's like more of like a 2-pitch pitcher, slider.
He looks good. He got rain delayed last game, but until then, yeah.
I mean, he's a slider sinker right now. Last year he was a 3-pitch pitcher. He had the 4-seam fastball working in there. Now it's like predominantly slider. And I know Austin Riley. This is why I could care less about like small sample size. He's 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. You see that and you're probably like, I'm not betting on this guy. But I really think that Austin Riley's gonna have a shot to hit a home run off this guy. I mean, he has 3 home runs. 3 out of his 4 home runs were against breaking balls this season. It's just the lefty righty splits. It's just it makes sense for Austin Riley, and I don't think anybody's going to be on him for that reason, because everybody looks at ESPN, they look at the batter pitcher matchup, and they see 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts. It's like, this guy's not going to do anything. But I kind of like that. He's
nothing.
Yeah. I kind of like that. It's he's going to be my guy for this game to go yard.
Yeah, I like that. He's been crushing the baseball for sure. Somebody that's been showing up in all the numbers I look at too. I don't remember why I didn't take him actually. But that's I think that's definitely a good look. Brian, anything on Braves, Marlins, or Pirates, Rays?
Nothing on the Pirates Rays, except I think I saw 6.5 or 7 for the total. I get the matchup, but that's a low total. But
yeah, ESPN
I know
says 7.
Yeah, I talked to Nick Larson earlier today on our Spaces thing, and I do think there's some upside for Garrett's 4.5 strikeout line against the Braves. So
yeah,
that's the only thing. I couldn't get myself to pull it because I missed out on the juice. The line movement was a little too much, and I wouldn't want to pay for it. But the Braves do whiff a lot more than most teams, which is kind of fun to think about because how good they are offensively. But that's the only look I had, but I didn't play it myself.
Yeah, Ozzy Albies for a home run. That's not a bad look.
He just hit one, right?
What's that?
He just hit one last game, I think.
I think he's hit several this week, or at least one. I thought more than one. I don't love the matchup with Garrett. But I think in general we put too much stock into starting pitching matchups for offensive props. I think the hot bat matters a little bit more, especially when he's going to get 2+ at bats probably against the bullpen anyway. So Ozzie Albies definitely good. I didn't take it personally, but that's not a bad bet any day right now. Jeff McNeil home run. That one's a little bit more interesting, a little bit tougher ballpark to hit a home run in, especially for a line drive guy like him. I have been keeping an eye on him though. I think that there's definitely gonna be a scenario where we can attack a Jeff McNeil home run in a smaller ballpark against a really matchup friendly pitcher with some wind or something, because his exit velocity is always there. He needs to lift the ball a little bit. Go ahead, Jerry.
Like just touching on what you said, like the hot bat and the pitcher. So last season, O'Neal Cruz was on a nice little cruise. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A cruise missile.
Yeah.
Watch Hustle.
So he was hot. He was looking good. He was ripping the ball, and then he had to face Sandy Alcantara when he was like killing the league. Like nobody could touch him. And I bet him for a home run just because he was hot.
Everybody called you dumb. Yeah.
First at bat, rips a 400-foot shot off the best pitcher in baseball.
Yep.
So the hot bat matters.
Yeah,
More important
I
than
agree.
the pitching matchup.
I agree, and obviously you have to account for it. We're not saying it doesn't matter. You have to account for it. But I think there's very few pitchers you see and you're like, oh nope, can't touch it. No matter what, I can't touch this game. I can't touch an offensive property. Prime DeGrom is one of the maybe three, right? Honestly, I would have said Prime Alcantara was one until you just told that story, but he would be up there. Joseph saying BV batter versus pitcher means nothing in my opinion. It's something me and Jerry have talked a lot about. I think maybe Brian too, so we're not going to get too far into it. But I don't think it means nothing. I think like what Jerry was saying, people put way too much stock in it. I need to see at least 20 at bats before I think it matters. If you have a long history over a few years, you have like 20+ at bats of either a really good batter versus pitcher matchup or a really bad one. I think that matters. Less than that, I don't care, because baseball is really hard and you need a sample size.
I will
Jerry
also say
go ahead.
I will also say the same thing goes to I bet strikeout props. It's the same thing where if you take like a lefty split for this season, it's almost like, all right, cool. This guy has a 56% strikeout rate. It's like, all right, and what?
Seen 3 lefties,
9 at bats.
Yeah.
Like, let's calm down. It's one of those things where you kind of want, like, I don't think it's meaningless, but I think there has to be a sample size or something to tie it with it. So you just have to be kind of careful, because I see some people post write-ups on Twitter where it's like, oh, he has a 0% average against him in his career, and it's like, you mean that pinch hit at bat he had last week? Like
yeah. All right, 2, 7, 10 start games. I actually have 3 home run plays tonight officially in and give it out on Twitter. They're all 3 in these 2 games. So I'll throw it over to you guys first. Anything on Twins, White Sox, or Blue Jays, Red Sox?
I have a play. Jared, do you have a play?
I have. I'll just say it. I'm going with George Springer again.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Okay, I'm glad you tied this in. Okay, so you want to talk? You got an explanation there? You're just gonna drop the Springer and move on.
We talked about it. He talked about it quite a bit last night, and I agree with him.
So I don't know if you saw it, but actually Springer botched a fly out yesterday. Last night, and it was the talk of the town. All the Red Sox fans were clowning him, and kind of very embarrassing. Obviously, if you want to look at batter pitcher history, it's good. Guys, as due as it gets, he's getting good odds on a nightly basis right now. I really think that he's going to launch one in this game and kind of shut the fans up, because a lot of people talking shit right now. But as far as odds go, like I don't know. I don't know if I could do Vladdy. It's just I don't know. I think
Boba is worth a look on Blue Jays. I'm on somebody on the other team, which I'll get to after Brian talks about whatever he was going to talk about. Boba Shed, I think, is worth a look too. He has been hitting nothing but piss missiles. Go ahead.
So this is a little. Have you guys seen the GoldBoys channel? We've been doing this this play of the day thing, and I'm 100% in it. So it's kind of crazy. Don't worry about the one play sample size. But I am 1-0 in this play of the day segment. And today I took Nick Pivetta under 5.5 strikeouts. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit. And it kind of goes in line with the fact you guys like, homers against him. This guy is bottom 5 in the league in hard hit percentage, and like his slugging against is bad, and his barrel, like he just gets hit. Like I talked about this on the show with Nick Larson earlier, and if you look at his career, his third time through the order is awful. So last year, his ERA jumped 1.5 runs per nine for the third time through. The year before, he had a 2.8 ERA in 2 years ago for the second time through the order, and a 5.7 the third time through. So the Red Sox really don't trust him to pitch a third time through. So he likely only goes 5 innings most of his starts. And if you're asking me for Nick Pivetta to get the extra strikeout, so if you think about strikeouts in terms of 1 per inning, he's likely going 5. To get that 6 seems really tough, especially because this Blue Jays roster has such a good history against him. Last year, they hit him around. He has a 5.11 ERA against them last year. So I think, as Jerry said, Springer, I think Bo Bichette has a good chance against him. There is some good history. You talk about pitcher versus batter matchups. Pivetta is almost getting crushed with these guys, and I just don't see him finding 6 strikeouts against a team that's only striking out 21.8% of the time. And Nick Pivetta this year has a 30% strikeout rate against lefties and a 21.8% strikeout rate against righties. And if you were familiar with the Blue Jays roster, they've been doing it for 4 or 5 years, where they are just stacking righties every chance they can get. They are one of the few teams that I think they only carry 3 lefties.
And none of them are great. None of them are. I mean, Varsho hit one the other night. He's starting to come along a little bit, but we're talking about Dalton Varsho, Brandon Belt, and who's the other one? Doesn't matter. You're not that concerned about him. But yeah.
Do you know if there's a lineup out yet? Because I was on the show getting prepared. I'm not sure if there is.
For who, the Blue Jays?
Yes.
There should be.
There should be. So let me check on that.
And while you're looking at that,
that's all
I would talk about. Well, actually, I want to dig into some numbers with you guys here. I tweeted out I was going to talk a little bit. I'm playing Yoshida again. So I did sprinkle his home run. I got it at plus 850 this morning using the Pickett Sports app. Use code GoldBoys on Caesars. I don't know what it's at right now. And I'm also taking his total bases. I think it was 135 this morning. I think when I locked it in around 1 or 2 o'clock, it was like plus 115 or something. But I want to talk about this guy that I don't really like him, Malik Manoah. I don't really like most Blue Jays actually, but he looked really good against the Yankees. Everybody, he had a really rough start to the year. Looked really good against the Yankees. Everybody's like, okay, maybe he's figured it out. I think that his numbers were starting to come up a little bit, like spin rate and velo. And then it's like, well, no, the Yankees just kind of suck. And he struggled again last start too. So I dug into the numbers pretty deep here with him, and I'm a little concerned about him long term. Honestly, his velocity is just down kind of across the board. His fastball is down from like mid 94s to like 92.5. The sinker usage has gone up quite a bit, which is a little interesting. Maybe it's because that he knows that he's lost a little velo on the fastball, wants to get a little movement in there. But that even the sinker velo has dropped from close to 94 down to under 93, 92.8. And last year, literally all year long, he gave up 4 home runs against his slider. He's given up 3 home runs to a slider already. So, this was a guy last year. We talked about. There's very few. Kind of can't bet against him offensively when he's out. Last year, there was a run where Alek Manoah, you really weren't betting him against him, right? I don't think that's the case right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you mentioned that there was a case where he was a top 3 favorite for Cy Young for a long time. Yeah. He was that dude, and this year he has not looked like that dude.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? And for whatever reason, I don't know if he's just building up the arm strength still, but that velocity is down and hasn't come up. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think the spin rates are down too. So that's a little. Thank you, James. That's a little interesting, and it's something I'm gonna be keeping an eye on, and definitely don't be afraid at least at this point in the year to bet against Alek Manoah. Like I said, I am taking Masataka Yoshida. I took his home run, took his total bases. This guy is his two total bases. I said it last night. I said I was gonna take his two TBs. I forgot, didn't play it. He crushes a bomb, of course, like at his first at bat, I think. So I was pretty annoyed about that, but. This guy's unbelievable. I think he did have a slow start, and people were kind of asking questions. I think honestly, it kind of just took him a little bit to get accustomed to the game in America. It's things are just done a little bit differently. The pitching style is way different, right? It seems like every Japanese pitcher, throws a sinker, and one sink, one guy.
Can't say that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
I think
just
that's
texted
okay.
MJC.
I think that's okay
No.
to say. Like it's not. It's
Jerry's
not, okay.
on my side. I swear.
I apologized then.
We frown upon it.
I think the sinker ball is more prominent in the Japanese professional league. No, I can't say that either.
No, I mean you're canceled. You might just want to speak freely now. You're already out, so that's fine.
Your name's on a poster.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me catch up on chat while I think about that and have a lot of anxiety. Connor Wong can home run again. Listen, I called Connor Wong the wagon last year because anytime there was a righty pitcher on the mound, I was betting his bases because he went on a run there where, yeah. Wait.
You don't want to be on the Wong side of that
wait, that was Colton Wong. I'm mixing up last names again.
See, that's funny. See, Jerry's funny. You're canceled. There's a difference there. Someone in the chat did ask if I'm wearing a Sixers hat. I am wearing a Sixers hat. This is like a cool. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this logo, Jerry, for the Sixers? This is someone else in the chat. The Ben Franklin. I don't know. Is it cool or is it weird?
It's pretty cool. It's not too corny, So
yeah,
it's like a fine line between corny and like stylish. You know what I mean?
It's like cool as an alter thing. If this was their actual logo, it'd be kind of terrible.
Yeah. It's like it's one of those things. Cool as a fashion statement. Yeah. Horrendous as a team logo.
Yeah. So so they asked if I was wearing a Sixers logo. I am. I'm also wearing the MVP's jersey.
Congrats, Joel Embiid, by the way.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I actually might take some of my because I had a lot of tickets on Joel Embiid. I might take some of the winnings to go watch him get the award on Friday for Game 3. I think that's fair, right? Like I think I want about 1,300, which is like 13 units for the MVP. I could probably spend 7 of them on tickets, right?
Hey, it's just money. Like I personally hate money. So, I love that plan for you. Sixers in 6. I love it. It's cool. A couple people kind of had my back. Ginger Snap saying I have to shave my stash so nobody will recognize me. I actually don't think I said anything bad, so whatever. I would be the first to own up to it. I want you guys to know that I will be feeling anxious about that for several days, like truly. So good job, guys. What's the difference between Jerry and a sack of potatoes? That's Sam. I gotta stop reading that guy's chat. Dang it, man. Shut up, Sam.
I swear Sam just spawns into things. Like Prospector Sam, I swear he doesn't really exist, and then he just spawns. And then he goes away for like 2 weeks, and he comes back.
Okay, worth noting. We gotta move on. Worth noting. Fenway Park, most home runs. Talked about last night. Most home runs in a single ballpark this year is in Fenway. So just ballpark factor alone, I guess.
By the way, just to make you feel a little better about your pick, Brian. Nick Pivetta at home, 14 innings in Fenway, 11 earned runs, 8 walks, 13 hits. And that's
I was going to say, I'm glad you brought that back in because I was going to mention that if you're in the Discord and you did follow the Pivetta pick, that was the play of the day. What I was hoping is because you mentioned Belt being one of the lefties, I was hoping they'd give Belt the day off, which they did. So that's huge because you're getting a 30% lefty out of the lineup for a 10% righty. So that's huge for strikeout rate. So that's the cool part about trying to bet strikeout props. And then it's like exciting to see the lineups, to see what happens. And there's nothing worse than getting a lineup that looks like a bunch of B-League players. And you're like, shit. But yeah, this is a good lineup. This is a good lineup for the Blue Jays. They should get to Pivetta. If anything, I would look for also like a first 5 for the Blue Jays or a first 5 over. If I wasn't stubborn with strikeouts, I'd probably play like a first 5 over 4.5 or 5 because both these guys could get hit around.
Yeah, I like it. So the other 7-10 game is Twins White Sox. I am on 2 guys to hit a home run in this one, and I'm just gonna go first before Brian just takes over the conversation. It's fine though. Love you, buddy.
I'm waiting for you to do it. Yeah. See, like you're waiting for me to do it because you have nothing else.
That was me last night. I felt like there was always there was some dead space, and I feel like I was talking the whole time. But I appreciate you. I'm not having to talk the whole time.
I will say dead space is what they call me in high school.
Same. I'm on Andrew Vaughn, home run. I'm also on Byron Buxton to hit a home run. I want to talk about Dylan Cease a little bit, kind of in the similar way that we just talked about Alec Manoah. Before I forget, talked about Fenway being the top ballpark for home runs. A guaranteed rate field is it's just the White Sox Stadium. I feel like that could have a better name. That's bottom three MLB ballpark names to me, I think. But second most. And I think there's a pretty big gap between those two and third place. But so these two ballparks, especially for whatever reason this season, have been prime home run territory. Dylan Cease last year, one of the filthiest pitchers in baseball, right? And this year the numbers are looking similar to Alec Manoah's. I'm actually a little bit more concerned about Cease because we are seeing a drop in the velo for his fastball and for his slider.
He's overcaffeinated.
What's that?
Overcaffeinated. That's what he keeps saying. He's like
really
too much caffeine. Dylan Cease, yeah. So you mentioned. He's getting jittery.
I'm always overcaffeinated. So
have you ever seen a guy drink Red Bull in the dugout? First person is Dylan Cease. Only person I've ever seen do it.
That makes me like him a little bit more. I love Red Bull.
Yeah, but like he said that he has problems with his control because he's overcaffeinated. The next game he showed up.
Stop drinking caffeine then.
That's what I'm saying. The next game he said that
very easy.
He said that again. He said that's why he lost his control in the Giants game. The next game against the Twins, he was drinking a Red Bull in the dugout in the second inning, and I was like, dude, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Brandon, he's been struggling a little bit. That's a fun tidbit.
The guy who asked about Buxton home running with a crazy parlay, -575 for Buxton to not hit a home run. I feel like you just ride your ticket out. Honestly, I was hoping for a little bit better with how low the odds were for Buxton to hit a homer. I feel like you ride it. You can't hedge a -575, right? Like there's no way. I mean, I guess it depends on how what that potential payout is going to be, but
it depends. I guess it depends on the payout. Like if it's like say if it's like a 38 unit win and you want to like burn 8 of those units to get but like even that it's tricky. Yeah, it's really tricky.
So real quick, Cease's fastball from 90 over 96 down to right at 95. His slider is down, another 1.5 miles per hour. That cutter usage the changeup usage is actually up 1 mile per hour, which is really kind of sticks out to me because his fastball slider velo is down, and the changeup where you really want that difference in speed is up 1 mile per hour. So. I don't know. He's got some stuff to figure out, velo wise and probably mechanic wise. On top of I guess being overcaffeinated and losing some control there. Byron Buxton. This is a guy I love just to watch play baseball when he's healthy. He is probably I don't know. He's really good at baseball, and it's awesome to see him on the field. I hate when he's injured. He's really fun to watch. He hits the absolute piss out of the ball. I had a bunch of numbers in front of me. I lost them. And Andrew Vaughn. This is a guy who's really been crushing the baseball lately. He has 2 home runs in the last 5. He's only hit 1 ball under 100 miles an hour in the last 5 days. And he's hit 4 baseballs over 105 miles per hour exit velocity. Varland gave up 3 home runs to the damn Yankees, who can't hit to save their life in his first start. I know the Varland strikeout is a popular line. I think you can still like Varland strikeout and think he has good stuff, and also think he's going to give up a couple of home runs. And yeah. He throws a fastball, cutter, slider. His fastball's around 95. And he gave up 2 home runs on his changeup or something like that. That's between this year and last year. And then, he's thrown his changeup 74 times this year and last year. He's given up 2 home runs on it and 4 home runs on his fastball. Vaughn is a guy who's been crushing fastballs. Anyway, go ahead. Anything else, game?
No, I think there's love for the strikeout line, but as you said, you can still give up a few dingers and get dinged up a little bit. No pun intended.
Right on.
I mean, what's up?
All you.
You were gonna cut me off? What?
I was.
Okay. One of my favorite things. I'm so glad that Tim Anderson's back, man.
Yeah.
The thing is, like the White Sox aren't really hitting. They kind of stink. I mean, they do stink. But one of my favorite things to do was I used to love betting Tim Anderson for 2 hits and 2 runs when they were especially at their peak. He's back in the lineup now. I wonder if that's gonna just really set a spark into this team. You know what I mean? Especially in a pitcher matchup like Varland, he's okay. You know what I mean? He's middle of rotation guy. We really don't know what his ceiling is yet. He's still young, but maybe this is the spark that they need. What if the White Sox just go off here? You know what I mean? Like, what if this is like a game where there's just a
Yeah.
complete turnaround? Because Tim Anderson made a huge difference. When he went down, you saw the difference on that team. So I might have a little fun. I might parlay like 2 hits and 2 runs for Tim Anderson. I'll tell you right now what the odds are.
Using the Pig
Because that's
Sports app. Use code GoldBoys.
great
I want to
plug.
say somebody
That was
called
your
out
first plug.
my how I'm growing and my ability to sneak those promos in there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but we're like 45 minutes in. That was your first plug. It's kind of.
Are you
slacking.
joking? You just have been listening. I've said it 17 times. It's
I
how smooth it
honestly,
is, Jerry. It's how smooth it is.
honestly, I just don't really listen to
That's
what
true.
goes
I
on
wouldn't
in this
either.
show.
I really don't listen to anything. Yeah, it's plus 524. So it's like
That's not bad.
it's a little fun, little niche thing. Like a couple hits.
Are you kidding, dude?
A couple runs.
Spencer Steer just hit homer.
Who?
Spencer Steer, the guy that I've bet on 2-3 times. He's an absolutely nothing. And the day I don't bet him, he goes here. Anyway, yeah, I don't like that. I don't mind that play at all. Anderson, it's another guy you just love to watch, unless you're the I don't know. Some people
Your
don't like
plugging
him. I don't care if you don't. He's fun to watch. Only baseball talk at the moment. There are obviously a couple NBA games. If we have time, we're going to get to. I
There's
think
just
you guys,
one NBA game.
Oh, just one. I think you guys do a lot more NBA talk on the 1:00 show, don't you, Brian? Somebody was asking about NBA stuff last night too.
I don't mind talking NBA. I think there's some good. There's only one game today, but I mentioned it a little bit. It's tough because Jerry, you're the basketball guy with me. What are your thoughts on Joel Embiid? Because he was definitely not going to play, then he was definitely going to play, and now like I saw his interview before the show, looks like he's like iffy on it. I think it's so weird. And I was talking to Eli before the show. The one thing with NBA, at least with all these injury news, with few games on the slate, is you're not going to lose value by waiting. Like if you're waiting for an injury news, it's almost better than to think you know it, because I think the lines are set based on certain injury things, and it's almost better to wait.
I don't know. I'm really concerned because if Embiid is playing injured and he's like, let's say at 70%, it's going to be noticeable if he's limping around. Can we just cut into this game real quick and just get this over with?
I mean, I'm okay with that. If Eli's okay
sure.
with talking about NBA, we have the people want basketball, man.
So my favorite prop is obviously Embiid assists. It's because it's obnoxious. It is obnoxious.
In the chat, someone just mentioned that. Here's my thing. Everyone knows obviously he destroys the Celtics in terms of assist. I don't know if the Celtics have to run as much double teams to him today, but here's my thing. Even with that being said,
you have to take it.
Like it's plus 120 still on MGM. And here, so as you guys know, we was mentioned earlier, big Sixers guy here. Just because, like, even without doubles, Joel Embiid 4 assists is like a 50-50 line. So getting plus 120 for it, the only thing you have to worry about is his health in terms of, how long he's going to play. Or, like, you don't, like, God forbid, I'm going to knock on wood. And when I do that, I don't actually knock on wood. Think about what you do there. But if he is healthy, he's still going to play minutes. And he's so good at finding the open man, whether it's, Maxey on the cuts, Tobias the post. I think he's underrated as a passer. And I think at 4+ assists, getting plus 120, that's the one play I would think about. If you really think he's going to score in the single coverages, 28.5 PA is still minus 110 on MGM. I have it up. But yeah, man, it's crazy. If they play drop coverage, he could find he could find 4 assists if he plays 25, 30 minutes.
So this is what's really like bugging me out, because obviously that line is pretty much predicting that he's only going to see maybe 30 minutes compared to the 40 that he usually does. Because if it was 40, I think his line would be easily 4.5 juiced at minus like 130 or something like that. So this is the problem though. If he is at like 70% and the Celtics see that, they don't have to double team him. Why am I full cam right now? I don't want everybody looking at just me.
Tough luck, dude.
So this is weird. I'm looking at myself. So you're getting 3.5 at plus money. Now the problem is, can you put all 3 of us? I'm staring at myself. This is weird. You're such a dick. So, all right. You made me lose my train of thought. That is so weird to stare at yourself and talk. I don't know how people do that,
dude. Like,
I will say, I staring at myself and talking is not that weird. I do it every morning in the mirror to hype myself up for the day, because I usually just get up just really in a bad. Anyway, you keep going.
You're such a dork, man. So if they let's say they take one look and they see he's limping around, he's not at 100%, they're gonna eliminate that double team. The double team is what allows them to facilitate. And James Harden's usually a beneficiary of that. So when I have this idea coming into this game, all right, he's playing the Celtics again. James Harden over threes, Embiid over assists, like this whole thing. That whole game plan can change on the fly because you're not getting the same Embiid you got for the last 8 games. When you hit this prop 7 of the last 8 games, you're getting a whole different game plan, a whole different Embiid. And that the way they were talking about Embiid's need, I'm shocked that he's even playing. They were talking. You're a son of.
All right, Jerry, just move past it. Move past it because this is good. I think this is the conversation I need to have because I'm so close to firing that 3.5, but I'm with you. But it's so funny in the other thing. See, I'm okay with it. I don't even care. I'm actually watching myself on the stream and on my my laptop. You can see my Bob Ross right there. That's Bob Ross over there. That stuffed animal. And I agree with you though. I think it's one of those spots where the game plan can change without doubles. But Jerry, I want to come back to you at this. The game plan could also shift again if Joel Embiid destroys single coverage. Imagine if they go away from doubles and it's just him one-on-one and he scores in 3 straight possessions. You might see it again. So I think it might flip-flop a little bit.
Snip, snap.
Snip, snap, snip, snap. You can only have so many vasectomies for Michael Scott. But I do – it's an Office reference, Eli, you idiot. But, yeah, I think it's one of those things that plus 120, 3.5 assists. It's like, how do you not take it? And this sounds stupid, but if you go down with the ship and you go down with everybody else, it's almost you go down in solidarity. But I can't trust his points as much. I don't know what I love Joel Embiid, but I think so. I'm trying to sound not biased as a Sixers fan, but Joel Embiid's whole career, I think the one word is like maturity a little bit, where Joel Embiid 3 years ago, he could be 1 for 9 and still be chucking in doubles. Joel Embiid now is totally okay finding the George Niangs for a wide open 3 rather than trying to force that shot. So I think even if he scores, say, like 9 points tonight, the fact that he will still be finding open guys should be there, and I think it's worth a play. So I'm like really close to playing the 3.5. It's still plus 120. I just want to talk about on the show a little bit before I hit the press the wager button.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Embiid assists and Harden over threes. If the game plan goes as planned, I think we definitely see 4 threes from Harden and at least 4 assists from Embiid.
Can I interest you in any mega lottos with maybe also adding a Tyrese Maxey threes who took 8 or 9 last game and didn't shoot too well? He's another guy that I think Maxey, I'll say this, if Maxey was not 21.5, if it was like 19.5, I would look at him again. Because if Embiid gets doubled or Harden gets doubled, Maxey's just that guy that has so much speed that won't see doubles. It's almost intriguing that you can benefit off him. So I was going to look for maybe like a 4 assists for Harden, for Embiid, and like a 3 threes for Maxey just for fun if I had a free bet, which I do.
I'm in.
Nice.
I think it's fun. I don't know. I think so the one thing that makes me upset about Joel Embiid missing last game, I love that the Sixers won, but everyone's trying to talk that like the Sixers are better without Embiid. If you watch the Philadelphia Sixers defense last game, you lose that game like 1 out of 98 times. Like there was no defensive presence. Like it was awful.
Why didn't you go 100? What like I'm
because
that's
what everyone else does.
Okay.
Like I did the math. I'm not gonna round up here, but yeah, like. This team's definitely better with Embiid, and that also, I think the offense becomes better with him in terms of open shooting. And Tyrese Maxey and James Harden could have a really nice day from 3 if they get open looks from the post passing.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea actually what's going to happen in NBA. I haven't watched NBA since like the All-Star break. But Tony and Clean Money Gibbs in chat. Also, he's the guy who texted me to say to put you on full screen again. So that's why I did. And I think he didn't think I would do it. I'm gonna. Coward. So, well, anyway, he said he likes Embiid threes and likes Embiid blocks. I asked about Embiid threes, which is minus 142 on FanDuel. I don't know what the line is. Brian arguing against himself, and then
I want to
Joseph
answer
on a
him,
Mega
Tim, here in
Lotto.
the.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna
Yep.
I'm gonna answer him, Tim, in the chat. If you go on Twitter,
I'll put
there's
you full
a
screen
lot
so
of
you can do
people.
it.
There is a lot of people, if you look at Twitter, that will tell you that the Sixers are better without Embiid. It's also mostly people that are, whether they're Denver fans, Jokic fans, whatever it is. A lot of people like to bring up the record with Embiid without. And I will say, I'm not saying they're credible people, but like the trolls / a lot of people on Twitter will make the tweets or statements saying, "Oh, the Sixers won without Embiid. They're better without him." And I'm just saying that's not true.
Dude, I don't know what's going on, but I can still see Jerry's camera on my screen.
That's
and he's
all
just
I'm gonna
sitting here
say.
laughing his ass off, and I don't know what he's.
That's all I'm gonna say is that in the chat they're saying I'm arguing with myself. That's not true. I swear. Just scroll through Twitter
why
for
won't
more
you
than
look yourself
3
in the
seconds.
Your
It's
eyes are
3
going
seconds.
everywhere, but looking at yourself.
I won't do it.
Jerry, by the way,
every part of his room, he's like looking left, looking right. He won't look at his screen. That's
Jerry, by the way, somebody in chat wants you to know that Christian and Javier both hit home runs today. I don't know if you were.
I'm sorry.
Christian and Javier hit home runs today. Somebody in chat.
Christian who?
I think it was the last name. Christian. What's his first name? I don't know. Anyway, we were aware that Javi hit a home run because he made a lot of money on it. But I was trying to be a little funny.
Christian Walker.
Yeah,
Christian
that
Walker.
guy. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Jerry made a lot of money on that today. Madden Twitch. Christian Skywalker. I don't know what that means. Okay. Anything else on NBA? We got a couple more MLB games we didn't talk about. I don't know. I don't have any action on them, but somebody did ask about Ohtani strikeouts. Unless you have more NBA or NBA stuff. No. Okay.
No.
Ohtani strikeouts. Listen, I'm hesitant. I haven't been betting strikeouts at all because I literally couldn't hit a strikeout bet to save my life. Brian and Nick are more the strikeout guys. I think Ohtani is a guy to me that it's hard to find value in the line for his strikeouts because at any time he can rattle off 12, but also the line's always pretty high, and he's also damn it, Jerry. Anyway, Brian, what do you think about Ohtani strikeouts? Answer the chat, please.
I had it circled at 6.5. I like it, but it's one of those ones where he's just such a weird guy. Like it's almost like it's a strikeout lower than it normally is, and it makes you wonder why. I don't usually have the tinfoil hat. I have him at 7.6. I liked it, but it was like minus 130 when I last checked. So I ended up laying off Ohtani strikeouts.
Jerry, are you okay? What is happening?
Currently on FanDuel, looking at the Pickett Sports app, Ohtani strikeouts is now at minus 124. My biggest issue with Ohtani strikeouts, as I talk through Jerry's laughter, is that the God damn, he goes here. The St. Louis Cardinals are one of those teams that are either very K adverse or very awful at times. They're very bipolar in how they play offense, and you never know what they're going to get. So I ended up laying off a 6.5 line.
I don't know what's happening. I have no idea what's happening.
I've got a bad case of the giggles.
I was just trying to send Brian full camp so you could collect yourself, and you haven't stopped laughing for 5 minutes. Nothing funny has happened. Nothing funny has happened.
Jerry has a bad case of the giggles, and I have a bad case of I hate this show and I hate this network.
Okay.
I get into the giggles sometimes. It could last 5 minutes. It could last 5 hours. I'll just sit here and laugh for no reason.
Okay. Well, Joseph says Jerry is a goober sometimes, man. I agree. I don't know about the sometimes personally. Brewers Rocky. Somebody did ask about that one's obviously in Denver above sea level pretty far. It's a hot home run target. I didn't end up betting anything on it. Like I said, Contreras has been a guy I've been really keeping an eye on. Exit velocity wise, damn it. All right,
I was told in the chat to get out of my feels.
Yeah, Brian, it's gonna be okay, buddy. I'll give you guys a second here. I'll go full cam because I'm not afraid to do it. At my house under construction.
But you're also not looking at the camera.
And everything.
Yeah, look, eyes to the camera. That's
eyes to the camera.
There you go.
I can't do it though because I gotta look at my notes and stuff. But anyway, whichever Contreras is on the Brewers. I've been watching him. He hasn't been hitting. I need to see him hit another home run or two before I really start taking him. But he's been hitting the hell out of the ball. He's obviously in a ballpark in a city that is very home run friendly. Jerry is still just cracking up. We got to get out of here. Anything on the last two or three MLB games? Anything?
He has a tomato on his nose. That's interesting. I think, honestly, it's better that we just end this show because Jerry's useless. I'm useless already. I mean, Eli, I don't know what he really brings. Yeah. What would you have? Something in the 3 games? Do you have it play?
I do.
What is it?
Okay, give it out.
We didn't do the Yankees Guardians.
Oh shit! You know what? That's at the very top. My ESPN.
Just
screen,
give your Yankees play and let's get the hell out of here, man.
No, I can't. I really wanted to bet Naylor for a home run. I didn't do it. I don't remember why.
I'm taking a long shot, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep this team with former Mets.
Okay.
Ahmed Rosario is plus 1,000. Now, he's a weird guy to bet on. I very rarely bet on Rosario because of the fact that he's like, that 10 home run a year guy. You kind of got to pick your spots. But for some reason, he has more power or he tries to hit more home runs against the Yankees, probably because they play in a fucking little league ballpark. Which I feel like these guys.
I was muted. No, they don't. Go ahead.
They all right.
Yes, they do.
They kind of
honestly,
do.
God.
But
sorry, I'm so sorry. My friend here interrupted you, Jerry. You can keep going.
You know what it is? He's just offended that his team is a fraud.
He's trying to be extra motivated after being canceled.
Out of anybody on this show.
He got canceled earlier in the show, and now he's trying to make up for it. He's out.
You can't just say,
keep going.
I'm harder on the Yankees than anybody. You're trying to do like the 8 Mile, like the Eminem.
He gets harder on the Yankees over anybody. That's what it is. He gets really hard on the Yankees.
So Ahmed Rosario, he's plus 1,000 at home run. He only has 1 this year. He's a guy who's gonna hit between 10 and less than 20 every year. He doesn't really have. He's kind of a skinnier frame, but he does hit some hard balls, hit some good line drives. For some reason, in Yankee Stadium, I think he's played 16 games in Yankee Stadium, something like that. He has 3 home runs, which is above average for his power scale for a season long. I think he's played them 30-something times. He has 5 home runs career against them, which would be above average for what his rate is for home runs. So for some reason, I think he was bred to hate the Yankees because he's a Met organization, played in the Subway Series, knows how much we hate the Yankees with a passion. I hate them more than Al-Qaeda personally.
Jesus, if I had 2 bullets and I had the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees are just one of those teams that I hate them with a passion. But Ahmed Rosario plus 1,000, and Schmidt is on the mound. They should call him shit because he is.
He's been bad. I actually wanted to fade his strikeout prop today, but they didn't give me a good enough line.
I mean, the guy's given up 7 home runs already this season. He's horrendous.
Yeah,
he's been really, really bad to lefties. Really bad to lefties. He's been okay against righties. He's throwing a cutter this season. I don't know why. It's terrible. It's really bad. Like it's one of the worst cutters in baseball right now. He needs to just drop it. But yeah,
if he's that bad against lefties, what about Josh Bell?
Yeah, so I bet Bell against Domingo Germán Monday, but and pick a lefty, and yeah, it's a good bet, honestly. He cannot get lefties out this year. He might be pitching for his spot in the rotation tonight. He should not be in the rotation anymore. It's that bad. He's a bullpen guy that should come in for a righty. What do they call that? A righty lane. But yeah,
we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on for that shit. But Ginger Snap in the chat asked if Gilbert hits his K line against Oakland. It's 5.5. I would say yes to that, but I just didn't like the value. If you're looking for like some way to play it, because when I checked, it was really juiced to over 5.5. And Logan Gilbert with that shoulder, he just makes me. I don't like him. I don't know. There's some pitchers, like I'm sure there's some hitters you guys don't play because one thing or the other. He's a guy I really struggle with, but the A's are a team that I think Jerry could get a few strikeouts on. If Jerry goes 6 innings, he gets 4 or 5. So I think Gilbert is very much in play for 6. I just didn't like the value there.
I actually throw harder than Joey Lucchesi throws now. So
really,
horrendous.
And then to end the show, honestly, I just because I know we're like kind of going a little over here. I just got the Twitter notification that Book It with Trent did take one of his video things where whatever you call it. He did take the Celtics -8. So do with that what you will. As a big Sixers fan, that I'm just saying I have the Sixers +11 at open, so I will be happy with that. But let's hope to. I mean, I don't know. Just maybe the Sixers have a chance. That's all I'm saying.
maybe I don't know.
What about? Did we do the Mariners?
Did they play tonight? Who did they play? No, that's one of the late games we didn't get to yet. Mariners.
So I only have one pick for this game.
Go ahead.
Teoscar Hernandez.
Been
Guys
hitting the shit out of the ball.
Breaking versus lefties.
Yeah.
And Spears is on the mound. Spears has given up 7 home runs so far? 7 home runs this season.
Yeah, and that's a guy. Yeah. Go ahead.
I know it's chalk. I know it's in Oakland. I know you hate the dimensions of Oakland, but if he's gonna hit one 420 feet, he's gonna hit one 420 feet, no matter what the stadium is. So it's good. He has good righty lefty splits. And then Spears is on the mound. So there's like nothing else.
JP Spears is not good.
Yeah, no,
it's JP Sears, but he's just not. He's not the best.
He's not good against righties. He was another. There's Yankees farm hands kind of struggling on the mound all over baseball. So do with that what you will, I guess. Yeah, he can't get righties out. He's okay against lefties. He's like 4 feet tall. It's a little interesting there.
Is he really?
He's not very. He's not very tall. He's small enough.
So if I Google it, it's gonna say 4 feet.
No, it's
right?
not gonna say 4 feet. But he's short enough that like Statcast picks up his pitches wrong. Like it'll say his four seam is a sinker. And it's really he's
under 6 feet, which is rare in baseball.
Yeah,
he's very rarely see
he's
pitchers.
small. He's small. Okay, real quick, couple questions in chat. I will say real quick, yes, right field very short in Yankee Stadium. It is I guess you could call it a little league park for lefties. It's only like 4 or 5 feet closer than Camden Yards, right field. So whatever. Left field's pretty far out there. So it's like they call no man's land there in left center. So
hey, Eli,
whatever.
Questions
in chat.
Just
feel
the answer.
You're muted. They can't hear you anyway. Yeah. So and Nick, Brian,
they can't hear me.
Yeah, they can hear you now. Chad is asking. Chad is asking for an RBI lotto for the. I think he's talking about the for the Guardians against the lefties against Clark Schitt. Rosario, you could do. I don't know. Somebody throw this in real quick.
Rosario
Naylor,
score a run maybe.
Rosario run and then like Naylor, J-Ram, and I don't know Bell. I just don't like Bell's swing, and it seems like it's a little off right now. There's so many moving parts to it, like mechanically.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's do Rosario's batting second, right? Let's do him to get on base. Score a run. J-Ram maybe, and then Naylor's 2 spots down, so that's nice. He could move over 1 spot, get to scoring position, then Naylor gets up, gets a base hit. So I like the Rosario Naylor combo for run RBI.
Okay. Did you put it in? You have the odds for it? It's got to be like what +200 or something.
Let's look that up.
On the Pickett Sports app, use code GoldBoys. Also, while we're here, GoldBoys.com if you want to get all of Brian versus the Books plays. Jerry's got a thing going on. Follow him and me on Twitter if you want. GoldBoys.com, Pickett Sports. Face Off 40 is Brian's code on Pickett Sports for some reason.
Yeah, it was a beta testing thing. It's a whole thing. I don't even like hockey either. I mean, I used to play. It's a whole thing. Don't.
You do get free money. You use code GoldBoys when they still do that, right, Brian? You get like $3 or $100 for free if you use code GoldBoys or code FaceOff40. Also helps us out.
Plus 267.
That's really nice. I'm gonna actually take that with you. And that is that's a Naylor for an RBI and Rosario to score a run. So with that, any final thoughts before we get out of here? I feel like we're borderline gonna get in trouble here. Maybe
before I get the giggles again. Good. That was bad.
We are back at 1 o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock Friday for Box to Box. We're trying to get a UFC show together for Friday or Saturday with Richie One Up, probably McAfee, and then back at Monday as well. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Viewer numbers this week have been awesome. So thank you. Chat has been awesome. It's been a lot of fun, even though we're just a bunch of idiots up here. And yeah, have a good night. Good luck on your bets.